approve this message.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Marathon. If you're just tuning in, I am Big Chuck, along with Mark Simonson, who joins us for his monthly visit. Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good to have you in here, and you're all done up at school.
I am.
Well, that's
Another
good.
successful semester. Yeah.
Yeah. Teary-eyed at graduation.
Yeah,
probably.
they didn't throw me out in my ear, so I guess I'm coming back in the fall.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
All right, Mark, where are we going this morning?
We're going back to May of 1956 this time.
All right, let's see what we can
Way
come up
back
with.
machine. A lot of
This is I was only 7, so this is there's probably going to be a lot of this will be new to me. So what do you got?
You may be familiar with some of these things. I don't know about this one. But first of all, of course, it's baseball season now. But, gosh, we were already thinking football in the fall at Oneonta High School. And we had just heard word that Roy Kent was resigning. He was the football coach. He was taking a better job down in Norristown, Pennsylvania. So word came on May 3rd of 1956 that they got Lloyd Baker, the standout success at Mohawk. He was named to succeed Roy Kent. And he was at Mohawk for a number of years. He was no stranger to Oneonta because he was a student at Cortland State Teachers College.
Yep.
And they came to Oneonta to play Hartwick.
So this was the start of Lloyd Baker's storied career here.
In football and teaching. And
mentor to so many young people.
right.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah. So they brought him in from Mohawk. Yeah, it was a good catch too because he built some really good teams.
Yeah.
In the late 50s and early 60s, and he also recruited Ed Pushkar. Of course, Ed Pushkar succeeded him, and Mr. Pushkar had sort of a dynasty of football teams in the 60s as well.
Yeah,
So,
interesting. Yeah.
60s and early
Those guys
70s.
were around for a long time too, weren't they?
Yeah. And Joe Campbell, of course, was an assistant coach and right there along the sidelines with both of them, I think. At least Mr. Pushkar. I don't know about Lloyd Baker, but...
What was Mr. Pushkar's years? Do you know?
Oh, I want to say about 1962.
What was his first name?
Ed Pushkar, yeah. Ed Pushkar.
And Joe Campbell. There's a trio on the sidelines for you, right? Lloyd Baker, Ed Pushkar, and Joe Campbell.
Yeah.
Boy, have a cup of coffee with those three guys.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That was so exciting times, and they were still playing football down on Neowa Park Field, where Tomasky Field is today. They weren't. The new high school was still 7 or 8 years away from being built. 56, 64. They started at the new field.
So where did they play in the park?
They played at the baseball field.
They played at the baseball field.
Yeah, built the bleachers and they filled them up on Saturday afternoons.
Yep.
Mr. Baker had a lot of victories, so they'd carry Mr. Baker across the little road there and dump him in the pond. Hodges Pond every time they got a victory.
Really?
Especially if they beat Norwich,
That is a riot. There's got to be some pictures of that. There has to be.
there are in yearbooks. I've seen
That's
pictures
funny.
in the yearbooks of Mr. Baker in the pond, all wet and all smiles.
A duck hanging off his pants. That's great.
So that was the beginning of that dynasty, 1956. There was TV was still big. It was exciting. Nowadays we go to a safety fair.
Boring.
Yeah, they held it at the Elks Club, but question was on May 7th, ever go to a speaking engagement, arrive a little late, and not find enough room to get inside? Well, officials of the Delaware and Hudson Railroad anticipated this situation at their mammoth safety party held Saturday at the Elks Club.
Come on, kids! It's a safety fair!
They didn't say much about the safety fair itself, but they did say they got closed camera TV there. A special telecast, a closed-circuit program, was brought about by the efforts of technicians from WNBF-TV, which is today's WPNG. And the technicians explained that they brought the TV signal in for a closed-circuit broadcast. So if you couldn't get in and watch the safety fair, you could watch it on television.
Isn't that something?
That was the exciting part.
Wow.
Didn't say what the safety fair involved or anything, but TV was there.
Yep. The safety fair, I can only imagine. How to use a hammer.
Yeah. Don't hit your partner's head with it.
Right.
But he says, hit it. Yeah, right. Let's see. Oneonta's buried boulevard is still desirable, at least to a businessman who wants to buy it from the city. The sunken street is an arm of Walling Boulevard, which is up near
Wait a
Wilbur
minute.
Park.
Berry Boulevard.
Buried
What is
Boulevard. It once served as a steep 10-foot ramp to connect Main Street with Walling Boulevard. That would be up on the Heights, near Wilbur Park, Fox Hospital.
that? Yeah.
There's
Next
some,
to the church.
up in that area,
Yeah.
right across from there, where there was a stove place and
Yeah.
a couple other businesses. Clarkson Electric was
Yeah.
there. There used to be a street that would come down from Walling Boulevard to Main Street.
Really?
Yeah.
There are still two streets that go up there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the... can't think of-
Roosevelt and Draper.
Yeah. Well, you live out in that
Yeah,
neck
that's
of the
my-
woods.
that's my neighborhood,
So there's
sure.
a third one? Is that
There
what
used to be, yeah.
Wow.
It was buried, I think, in the 40s or early 50s, and now the guy wants to buy it and wanted to build another business there. And I think where there was a liquor store up until not long ago, that building right behind it was the boulevard.
I'll be darned. I had no idea.
The buried boulevard. Yeah. That was 1956. This is kind of exciting. Monday, May 14th. The first services were conducted at Temple Bethel on Chestnut Street. Confirmation of 6 Jewish children, old enough publicly to take an affirmation of their faith in Judaism. Let's see, the religious rites were conducted by Gabriel Harris. Of course, he was a prominent businessman. He had a jewelry store here on Main Street. He gave a brief talk on why confirmation. They had about 125 people at the service, including many out-of-town guests and friends from the Gentile community, as they said.
Wow.
1956, they had their first...
Was it here up on Chestnut?
Right on Chestnut Street.
It was. Okay,
Yep.
because I know they've expanded over the years, but
sure.
that was a home at one time.
Right. They turned that into Temple Bethel, and then I think, since I moved back to Oneonta, they've expanded it, made it much larger.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
First class, youth graduate.
Right.
For
confirmation.
Confirmation
Yeah,
service.
yeah.
1956.
1956. That was, they didn't really have a temple here in Oneonta until about that time. Gabriel Harris, Sid Levine, I'm sure you heard of Sid. He was helpful, of course, in getting that together. So,
Excellent.
Sure, that was big. 1956. Oh, here we go. The mystery deepens. This is May 11th. East End, West End, all around the town. The question is, who's the prominent Oneontan who's going to be on TV Super Quiz program? The sidewalks of Oneonta have become the stage for a quiz. About a quiz, yes. Telephones have been ringing and even the U.S. mail got into the act. This is for the $64,000 question television show. Who's going to be that Oneonta on there? One former Oneontan by the name of Norman Magley sent a postcard from Sydney to Wilmer E. Brzee of the department store fame. He said, "Dear Wilmer, I just read the Star at the above date. I always have been a good detective, and I've come to the conclusions that only you are the man smart enough in Oneonta to appear on the $64,000 question. If I am right, you owe me a beer." Well,
gosh.
your pal Norm. There was other opinions as who was going to be on this show. Mrs. Earl P. Francis asked whom she thought. Why, Wilmer Brzee, of course. Raymond Baker of Center Street said, "I haven't got the slightest idea, but it must be one of the professors at the State Teachers College."
Yeah.
Yeah, must be one of them. Okay. Bruno Scavo of 8 Franklin Street said, "I have an idea it might be Wilmer Brzee. He's traveled a lot." John Steidel of 353 said, "I say it was Edwin Moore. He was the historian who wrote in the Daily Star as I do today." Ed Moore. Andrew McNaught say it might be Professor Lewis B. Curtis at the State Teachers College, or Chester Miller, the former postmaster. E.W. Vick said it might be Lynn Brzee. Phil Brzee came close. He was on the trail. He says, someone said it was Roger Hughes.
The mayor.
Roger Hughes, the mayor, yeah. He's said to be an expert on ancient history. And as it turned out later, Filbersy was correct.
Roger Hughes.
It was Roger Hughes who was on the $64,000 question. I think it was June of '56 or maybe later that month. I don't know what the result was, but I think he won some prize money, but a trick question got him in the end, and he wasn't on the show.
Roger Hughes, who was the sitting mayor of Oneonta,
That's right.
was on the $64,000 question on TV.
Yes. And then Nate.
And not everybody had a TV in 56.
No.
So
Go to your neighbor's house. Hey, come on over.
that is great.
So,
Well, boy, that really puffed up Wilmer Brzee. Everybody thinking it was him.
yeah. Well, I guess Wilmer didn't have to buy his friend Norman Negley a beer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Saved himself 5 cents.
Yeah, nickel beer. Sure.
That's great.
Let's see. For May of '56, this is an interesting name. For Hartwick commencement at 8 p.m. on June 3rd scheduled, Jacob Javits.
Okay.
He was the then Attorney General of New York State coming to deliver the commencement. He went on to become, he's got the Jacob Javits Center in New York City.
Yeah.
He was big in politics. I can't, was he a U.S. Senator?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Time U.S. Republican, liberal U.S. Senator Jacob Javits.
Yeah.
Back in the day when they had Republican, liberal.
That's why I was, what? Wait, Chuck. They had those things back then? How about that? So that was big. Big business happenings in Unadilla. May 11th of 1956, you are invited to our grand opening on Saturday, May 12th of the Miss Unadilla Diner and Motel on Main Street in Unadilla, the most modern diner between Binghamton and, I think, Albany, it said there.
Now, that is funny because
It's still there. It's sitting there.
it's there. It's not open. There is rumor that it will open.
Ooh.
But you know what? That was owned by Larry and Harriet Henchy in my days.
Yeah.
And I never knew that it was the Miss
Yes.
Unadilla Diner. It was always the Unadilla Diner.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they referred to it as, and I don't, this may be not even the same place because there was no motel. There's no motel on Main Street by the Unadilla Diner.
Right in that area. No.
The Unadilla Hotel is next to it.
Yeah.
The newest, no, this can't be
Okay.
it. The newest and most modern diner between Binghamton and Albany on Route 7 for a snack to special plates.
Miss
Try
Unadilla.
our home-cooked meal, our motto, quick service with a smile. And it says the Miss Unadilla Diner and Motel.
I wonder where
That's a
that
mystery.
might have been. Okay.
That's a mystery.
Now we've got a sleuth to do here.
Now we've got a mystery. The Unadilla Diner is there.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, it was open. It was owned by my parents' friends, the Henchys. It was never referred to, A, it was never referred to as the Miss Unadilla Diner, and B, to my knowledge, going back more than 50 years, there was never a motel there, ever.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting. So we're going to ask our listeners to now don't call because we have too many phones in this place.
Right,
but if you
right.
know, email me.
Yeah.
Email me at WDOSBigChuck@AOL.com. WDOSBigChuck@AOL.com. The Miss Unadilla Diner and Motel. That is a mystery to me.
Now, doesn't the town of Unadilla go all the way down to State Route 8?
Yeah, but it
at the
says
corner?
Main Street.
Oh, Main Street.
It says Main Street Unadilla.
Oh.
So we'll see if we can unravel this. That's a good question for you.
Okay.
That's a mystery.
I
about
thought
the
it was.
Unadilla
I thought it was the other one. Well, oops. They stumped the historian again. That's
a good one. That's a brain teaser right there.
Another big business that opened. How about this? The new Unadilla Drive-In, which opened Tuesday evening. This is June 1 of 1956. So it was
It just
Memorial
opened
Day
this weekend, too.
It did,
Yeah.
yes. It opened on Tuesday. Good pictures, excellent screen have brought much favorable comment from residents of this area. The fact, together with the good public relations on the part of Mr. Gardner and Mr. Laflamme, would seem to ensure another successful Unadilla enterprise. And I bet you didn't know that the first movie ever shown at the Unadilla Drive-In Theater was Alan Ladd and June Allison in The McConnell Story.
I bet Alan Ladd and June Allison didn't know that.
The second big hit, of course, was Chief Crazy Horse, starring Victor Mature, Suzanne Ball, and John Lund. I looked at Suzanne Ball, and she is a cousin of Lucille Ball. She grew up in Jamestown.
Never heard of that. Never heard of that.
They did have some. I don't know those movies. I don't know if you know those movies. The McConnell story.
No, I don't.
Yeah, we had some good ones coming up. We had, let's see, John Wayne and Lauren Bacall in Blood Alley.
This is at the drive-in.
Yeah, these were the ones that played right after that. Bengal Brigade. We had Mr. Roberts with Henry Fonda.
Yeah.
And James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause. That
all
was
at
like
a
the
drive-in.
second
How
weekend.
fun! Yeah.
Yeah. So those were the opening days at the Unadilla.
How fun! Yeah.
Big doings in Unadilla.
Yeah.
With the Miss Unadilla, wherever that may be.
Wherever that may be, and the motel, wherever that may be.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, let's see, what else was going on? Well, active campaign happening in Delhi. The chairman of the new Delhi Hospital Fund, that would be the O'Connor Hospital as we know it today, that the gifts were coming in. They turned in $3,500 each. A few names were given, and gifts already received now amount to more than $120,000 toward the $250,000 goal to build that new hospital.
Yeah, that's
in
nice.
Delhi. Yeah, I guess they bought land from the Delaware Academy to build that.
Mark, do you know, on a different subject, where does the O'Connor money trace back to?
Let's see, Justice O'Connor from Hobart.
Okay, because the O'Connor Foundation.
Lindsay and Olive O'Connor.
Okay,
He was
because I know
prominent
that's
attorney.
a huge foundation that does so much good in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I often wondered if that was early IBM money or real estate sales or
Probably
what?
a combination
Yeah.
of that. I would think probably IBM money because a lot of people did buy stock early on. And he was prominent in the teens, 20s, and 30s.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
probably in 50s, yeah. So, yeah, they formed the Lindsay and Olive B. O'Connor Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a lot of good.
And you can still see Justice O'Connor's office if you drive down Hobart. At least the last time I was there, you look up at some of the buildings and you see his name in the window.
Really?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
interesting.
And the Book Village, I guess it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where he was from. So let's see. Here we go. This was also in May, about that time period. The cornerstone of the new St. Mary's Catholic Church, Walnut and Elm Streets, will be laid on Sunday, June 24th.
Oh.
Giving you a little bit of a head start there. Father Cunningham also said the old church at Main and Grand Streets, built around 1884, is up for sale and that a prospective buyer has taken an option on it. That's where the Houston Benson Agency is now.
Yes.
The old church was right in that area.
But now, the Lettuce Highway was just a twinkle in somebody's eye at this point, right?
Sure.
Did somebody buy the St. Mary's Church?
They did.
And they level it?
They knocked it down and they put up, I think, a filling station.
A filling station.
Yeah.
Do you remember the old St. Mary's Church?
I
do not. No, I do not. I've seen pictures of it. Big, tall, red brick building.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. And it's right there where the Lettuce Highway
Right in
comes
that area.
off. Yeah, right in that area. Yeah, right in that area.
Yeah,
Interesting.
one of that big house next to the agency, right behind it.
Yeah.
I think was the rectory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
have no memory of the old St. Mary's Church. No.
Yeah, because they built the new one during 1956, and I think they had dedication services later that year, or maybe next year. Maybe it was 57. But yeah, I think they had torn it down by the time I was old enough to remember. Yeah, but, where the Lettuce Highway is, there was a Grand Union supermarket.
There was.
Yeah, they tore that down around 1971 or 2.
And so the Grand Union would have been on Main Street, Oneonta.
Yeah.
And behind it, it would have just been land that rolled to the river?
I think there were old neighborhoods in that area.
Really?
But yeah, some neighborhoods were taken out. But
this is for the Lettuce Highway.
yeah, behind that though was what they called Webb Island. It was part of Neowa Park.
Okay.
It's Catella Park now.
Okay.
But it used to be Webb Island. They had some tracks down there, the horse tracks, and
for
they used to
heaven's
race
sake.
cars and things
Yeah.
down in there. So that was a big athletic area.
Do you remember the Grand Union?
I do.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mom we lived close by there. Mom used to put me in the stroller, and we'd go down.
Is that right? I'll be darned.
Get some groceries down there. Yeah. Not because that wasn't too far a walk for us. From where the buried boulevard was. Remember?
Yeah, right. That's right.
That same area. Sure. So that was 1956. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, here. 2 railroad shanties down in the D&H railroad yards were transported from the D&H to Oneonta's Little League field for use as a clubhouse and restroom. This was May 25th of 1956, and at that time they weren't playing at Doc Knapp Field on River Street. They were playing right in Neowa Park, the Little League field.
Any evidence of these 2 shacks?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. The large building's gifts of the D&H were trucked through the city on a trailer bed pulled by a tractor. Art Robbins was the driver. I bet you needed to know that.
Yeah.
As the buildings arrived, John Corsi and league officials were rushing to complete action on schedules and teams with an opening day deadline set for next Wednesday, Memorial Day. But they got their buildings just in time for the opening season.
Just in time, yeah.
There was an issue in 56 or 57, I recall, of signs, advertisers, like in the ballparks. And there was some real old city ordinance that said you couldn't do that.
Okay.
And so the Little League said, we can't have the signs, we're moving elsewhere. That's when they moved down to Lower River Street, where Doc Knapp Field is.
Okay.
They just picked up and moved out of there.
All right.
Because they couldn't
put up some signs.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's signs there now. So
sure. Yeah. Much ado about nothing, as they say, right?
All right. We're in the year 56.
May 26th of 19. We're switching from baseball to golf now. Leonard M. Rayner, 68, one of America's top golfers and golf architects, will be buried Monday near the golf course he built in Cooperstown. That's, of course, near the Otesaga Hotel across from the Farmers Museum.
Really?
He built that golf course. He died suddenly Thursday night at Bassett Hospital. And it says here, let's see, he came to White Plains in 1913 as a golf course architect. He moved to Cooperstown in April 1919. He also built the country club courses in Wyndham and Woodstock, and the second 9 at the Oneonta Country Club. It used to be just a 9-hole course.
I'll be darned.
Len Rayner built the back 9.
And he's buried on the golf course in Cooperstown.
Right near it, yep.
And that you must be near that at the Farmers Museum, right? I wonder if that's a plot, or is there a little cemetery, or
I don't know.
Is it a tricky hole that you got to bounce it off his gravestone, or what?
I don't know. He coached the Cooperstown Central School golf team for 2 years, winning the championship of the Southern Tier 1 year and was runner-up in the next. In 1934, he established a world's record by playing 8 rounds of golf in a single day. How about that? 8 times 18?
How are you spelling his last name?
Rayner.
Well, I've got to look this guy up.
He was the consultant on the rebuilding of Doubleday Field in 1938, in the way we see it today.
Isn't that something? And he's buried. It says he's being buried near, or how do they phrase it?
He's buried Monday near the golf course
Near the golf course he built.
Okay,
that's curious.
Another sleuth.
There's another
here.
one.
Another sleuth here.
Yep.
Let's see.
There's another one.
May 28th of 1956. Let's see. About 50 teenage driving enthusiasts will test their skill Wednesday morning at the Junior Chamber of Commerce Teenage Rodeo at the municipal parking lot. Winner of the local event will receive a $50 savings bond and an all-expense paid trip to Schenectady, where he'll compete in the finals. Hey, let's go to Schenectady.
Oh my
let's
God.
watch the GE lights come out and off.
That's
Here we
funny.
go. The obstacle course has 4 phases: parking, driving within 2 lines of narrow markers, a serpentine where contestants must weave between strategically placed barrels while making sharp turns and stopping within the front bumper, resting above a narrow white marker.
Wow.
And who won it, you ask? I know you are. It was young Peter Axhoy, 19, son of Mr. and Mrs. Axel Axhoy of Winnie Hill Road. He scored 451 points out of a possible 500 to take top honors. Last year he placed 3rd in the state contest, so he was up practicing all night, studying.
That's great.
I'll bet you. Peter Axhoy, how about that?
Went to Schenectady.
All right. Well, let's see.
Yeah.
We got some entertainment to go
I
here.
love this part, yeah.
This is good. Let's see. In addition to the Unadilla being open, shall we check movies first? Let's see what else was playing. The Del Seago Drive-In. They opened in 1948, I think it was. Save the cost of the babysitter. May 26th, one day only. With, let's see, a show called Shotgun. Starred Yvonne DiCarlo, Sterling Hayden. Yeah. Three of a Kind, All Evil. The Bomb Train That Terrorized the Nation. Night Freight, starring Forrest Tucker and Barbara Britton. There you go. Oh, here we go. Sunday and Monday. Martin and Lewis, they got together. Artists as models. How about that? And The Treasure of Pancho Villa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is a Del Seago.
Yes.
Is this when Brooks was selling chicken under the screen?
No, they sold. They had a golf course and a driving range.
Yeah.
On the Davenport Road.
Yeah.
West Davenport Road, and that's where they got their start. Yeah. But that was, I think, that was about 3 years later. Let's see what else was playing. Stanford at the indoor theaters. Jane Wyman and Rock Hudson, All That Heaven Allows. The Benny Goodman Story was playing in Sydney on Sunday and Walton on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And Delhi on Sunday, that was CinemaScope 55. How about that? Let's see. Meet Me in Las Vegas with Dan Daly and Sid Charisse was playing at the Shines Oneonta Theater. Top Gun, not the one we think of. This was, let's see, this was the thrill-packed saga of the Golden West starring Sterling Hayden. Boy, he was starring in a lot of movies these days. Mondays, 2 all-thrill hits, Bold and Daring in 3 Bad Sisters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and The Killer is Loose.
Not a musical.
No. Smalley's Theater. Let's see. Meet Me in Las Vegas. Okay, we did that. Let's see.
What do you got playing in the clubs?
Here we go. Jerry's right around the corner here in the parking lot. The Cocktail Lounge with Jack Stahl. Dancing Tonight. Lloyd Salisbury, Danny Sherman, and Jack Stahl were playing together, I guess. Dancing and Entertainment Daily. Here we go. Oh, thank you for the wonderful reception extended on our grand opening for that delicious home-cooked meal at the Miss Unadilla Diner and Motel. How about that? Ideal Gardens, dancing every Saturday night. Gil Collins and his orchestra. And the Little Man with the Drums. Okay? At Ideal Gardens in Bloomville. Rainbow Gardens, and I think that's Davenport. We had the Rhythm Rangers playing. Molinary's was serving up their usual spaghetti and meatballs.
Yep.
Windsor dancing tonight in the Crystal Room. The Debonaires. No, sorry, no Manahole Room in Skenavis.
No.
There was a barn dance though at Jaeger's Barn in, where was that? Between West Oneonta and Otsego and the Otstowa Road. Okay.
Okay.
Goodyear Lake Pavilion, dancing by Ernie Russ and his orchestra. That's
he must have played 1,000 jobs, Ernie Russ. Wow.
The Central Hotel on Route 7 in East Worcester. No dancing there. Dance Tonight at Tommy's featuring Marge Dorfler and her accordion. All right. There we go. The Rex. Let's see. It's no entertainment. Get hubby to take you to the Rex, though. That was their advertisement. They specialized in fried chicken.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. That's going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But I do want people to send me an email. All right. My email is wdosbigchuck@aol.com and solve this mystery. On this day, basically in 1956. The Miss Unadilla Diner and Motel opened on Main Street in Unadilla, and my memory is it was never referred to as the Miss Unadilla Diner in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. And secondly, where was the motel?
Yeah.
I just don't know where it was. The Miss Unadilla Diner and Motel, Main Street, Unadilla. Quick service with a smile.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll ask for some emails right there at WDOSBigChuck at AOL.com. Mark, it's always good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it.
See you next time.
You betcha. You're listening to WCHN in Norwich, New York, WDOS in Oneonta, New York, and WDLA AM in Walton, New York. And don't forget, folks, you can check us out online at cnynews.com and check us out on our Facebook page. Just go to Facebook and search Big Chuck. Boom, friend it, like it, and you are in with more than 2,400 of your listeners on our Facebook page. And my email is wdosbigchuck@aol.com. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
From ABC News.